Hello, it's Taylor Glass from GlampLaunch, and today we are at West Riddens, just walking around this glamping development. We're currently in the midst of doing the planning application and soon to be 12, yes, 12 shepherd's huts for this site. This is episode 1 of this series, so stay tuned and let's see how we take this from an empty field to a bustling glamping site. We're literally pulling into the West Riddens property here now, and see this triangle here? That's actually the corner of the site. This is all part of the site as well. This is all part of the site, just in here to our left hand side. It's all part of the shrubbery of the site. So as you saw in the previous clip, we drove down this road and I showed you the shrubbery here. We just pulled into the house here. We're parked about here. That there is the pond, which you see right there. And we're going to go now and take a walk over to view the actual glamping development. So let's go. This site is like 28 acres. I don't even know how we find the place. So we're just going to walk. The client Patricia is not here today, otherwise I would be doing it with her, but the next time I'm available and I'm here, I'll be with Patricia. That's actually not the site entrance. I just wanted to take a look at it. Where we're standing right now is this part up here. No, sorry, it's actually not, it's up here, but the site entrance is on round a little bit round there. That big building there, the existing barn, is what is seen right there. These must have been old horse stables at a time, so they were. Obviously they won't be used for the glamping development, but it's just very interesting to look at the history of the site. We saw some deers running around as well, so we did, and you can see some of this agricultural materials, shed and stuff like that there, so you can see that this is going to be a real traditional glamping development, so I'm really excited to see how this one pans out. We are standing right now approximately around here, and there's the barn like we showed you, and the car park is going to be an access just up there. The cars will eventually park somewhere along this tree line, but we want to keep them directly off the trees. We want to be about 15 meters off the trees, because whenever we do a tree survey, the roots of the trees can come out 15 meters off the edge of the tree. So we want to try and make sure that we're away from that as much as possible, so that we don't interfere with the ecology already on the site. I am standing approximately about here, just on the edge of this red line boundary, and approximately where the cars are. You can see that we have some signs of mole habitation here on the site. This may be a concern, but we're going to do an ecology test on the land in a couple of weeks' time, and that will let us know whether this will be a problem with the planning application or not. So we're crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's ahead of doing the planning documents, and that's pretty much why I'm here today. I'm on a mission now to find where the site entrance is. But this does not look right at all. What I'm trying to find right now is this site entrance here. This is on the main road, and it's approximately here. Now if we look at this drawing here, that pinch point is supposed to be on this drawing where we've already made, but I actually can't find this entrance now I'm walking the site. So we're going to take a wee walk up here, and I'm going to see if I can find this entrance on the site, because this image on Google Maps was probably taken many years ago, so I actually think this is a lot more overgrown now, so we need to go and see if that's still a viable access point for the development. There it is. There's the site entrance. I was panicking there for a second. That's the gate there. I don't know if you can see it. You see that gate there? This is our proposed entrance for the site. Now, obviously, it's not fit for use right now. So whenever we finish our site tour, we're actually going to take a drive around the outside of the site and see what that looks like from the other side. But this is where I believe we will bring the guests into the development at, more than likely. What I'm looking at right now is I'm trying to visualize if the cars swing in from there, drive down here and park here. I'm just trying to work out in my head how that visually will look and whether that will be aesthetically pleasing for the site or not. Cars park there, barn there, and then like a nice wee footpath that brings them into the development. We want to keep all the cars parked away from the units just to try and keep noise down away from the site. On a side note, it's interesting just to see the work that was done here on this site previously. Like, I wonder what this would have been used for. Like, how much history and heritage is there of this estate? This is very impressive. There's something very historical about it. I couldn't think of the right word. This is the choke point of the site. Guests will enter here, park here, come to this choke point, and then the glamping development will be over there. This is the choke point. Now, also bear in mind, these are our first set of drawings, so we may actually come back and revise these after my site visit, but these drawings were made ahead of time, and I'm basically here today to see if I actually agree with the drawings I've already made previously. So we have just walked through this choke point here now, and you'll see the shepherd's huts start to curve here. This is going to be two phases. This here is phase 1 and this is phase 2, and you can see the way there's, like, if we look closely, these are two units that will be close together with each other. We hot tub seating area, and then that'll be a pair of units. That's a pair, that's a pair. So there's 6 pairs in total, divided into 2 phases, and phase 1 will be in this lower half of the field. There's like a metallic smell to that, but I'm not an expert in soil, so I don't know what that means. Although I will take a note of it, and then I'll send this information to the ecologist who will be here, and I'll make them aware of it so then they can check it out in more detail. What you see here, these pits that were dug, this was dug for the percolation test that we're going to do on the site next week. So thankfully Patricia has already got this commission, so the pits are dug, and then we can come in and we can test for filtration of the site. Yeah, there's another one over here. There we go. See, look at this one here, guys. See the way we've got the bedrock at the bottom, we've got water line in it. Now it's hard to know if that's rainwater that's just fell, or if that's where the water of the site actually lies, you know, because we had to dig down the steep. We're going to put a treatment plant, a septic treatment plant on the site at the bottom of the hill. If you look at the hill, it's kind of sloping down the way, so we'll put it like way over there. But this is this is dug so that we can come in and get actual accurate readings from the percolation company to see what the site is going to be like. But there'll be more info on that one to follow. If I was a child, I would have loved this place. I'd be up climbing these trees. Right now we are standing in this woodland here, so this is kind of on the edge of their boundary. But the reason that I want to show you this is because you'll notice that the red line boundary that we've made for the site is intentionally away from the tree lines. That's because if we bring the red line boundary closer to the tree lines, then the ecologists will have to come and do surveys on this land, and we know that there's going to be a lot of restrictions from the planning authority for that reason. So we intentionally keep the glamping development away from the trees as much as reasonably possible. We're just on this blue line. So the blue line here represents the client's boundary. So this is no longer their land, and that's no longer their land anymore. So we're just right at the edge of the site here. So we just thought we would come, take a quick look, see where the site boundary actually is, and then we're going to head back on into the development to do some more research. One of the things that's so good about this development here at West Riddens is because, as you've saw so far in this video, the site is really big. It's a very big site, and there's so much greenery and shrubbery around, which means that it will be very easy for us to meet our biodiversity net gain demands for our planning application of 10%. That's going to be very easy for this site because we can give back in so many different ways. The only thing that I'm mainly concerned about so far with this site after viewing it is the electricity and plumbing for the units. Now, this is a very rural location. Even though we're only 20 minutes outside of Gatwick Airport, it's still very rural in the actual site itself. So for us to pull electricity off the mains road and get water in, the actual runs, the runs in terms of the distance could be 200 or 300 meters, and that may be costly. So that's the only concern I have as of this moment, and also access. One thing I'm looking at right now is just where I initially positioned the shepherd's huts. You'll see that they're kind of curved here and then they're straight here. If you look at the site, you'll see that the site is on a slope here. So we want to make sure that whenever we position the shepherd's huts that they're going to be at the top part of this slope. Obviously we'll need to raise the foundations up a little bit, so we'll build a wee terrace around them. And then the soakaway and the treatment plant will be at the bottom of the hill, just slightly on down the slope. That obviously means that the gravity of the site will naturally just pull all the wastage into the treatment plant without the need of any motors. So this right now, where I'm standing, is approximately where the boundary is going to be. I want to stay 15 meters away from the tree line. I just stepped 15 meters out, and this is kind of roughly where we come to. Obviously it's not an exact science, we'll measure out more accurately, but this is approximately where we're at. I was just showing you all of this site here, and one of the things that we showed you earlier was actually this entrance. That is the field right there behind me that you see behind me. Now, the access to this site isn't that great, but what I went ahead and done was I looked at this crash map. And as you can see, there is currently no crashes on this part of the road. They all seem to be at this choke point up here. But as of right now, there's clearly no crashes on this area of the road, which means this is a very good place for us to possibly put an entrance. Now, the only issue that I see is the visibility splay coming from the left-hand side as you come out of the site. There's lots of visibility coming that way. Sorry, my apologies. There's little visibility on the right-hand side as you come out of the site. But we may need to trim some of these bushes back to get the right visibility, and that's one thing that we are going to do with a speed survey. I would also like to say that these drawings that we made, this is our first revision, our first set of drawings, so it's very possible that by the time we actually build the development, we may have changed some of the positions around, but we always have to start somewhere, right? So one thing that I'm looking for right now is I'm checking for the visibility of the site. As I'm standing here, I can come to this road edge and I have perfect visibility at both sides, which means that this here would actually be a very safe place for the entrance to the glamping development. I like this one a lot. We just finished our site tour for West Riddens, and it's looking to be a very promising development. Now, if you want to stay tuned to see how this development progresses, keep in touch with us and we'll post the rest of these videos on our YouTube channel. If you are interested in starting your own glamping development, you can send me a message and we will see how we can help you through feasibility, through to planning, and through to the actual installation of your units. Taylor Grass from GlampLaunch.